Hope you've brought your Kleenex, because this is going to get dirty. Battery exhausted, she says. I'm fucking exhausted. Welcome back, you unhinged basket of kippers. It is time for a new build. Follow me, camera. I didn't pay for that technology for fucking nothing. I had an email from a gentleman called Chris. He goes by the name of Tank Man. You've seen him in the comments. He watches all my builds. What a lovely boy. He represents the Royal Tank Regiment Association Plymouth, and they support veterans, which is a fucking phenomenal thing. Every year they get together, they have a big charity get together, and they auction some stuff off. And he said, how much would it be for me to build him a guitar with the Royal Tank Regiment Association colours, which we'll get to that bit. And I gave him a price. I massively reduced it. I can't afford to do things for free. I want to do as much as I can for charity. It was a tough one. I gave him my most competitive price and he said, that's fine. I think we can cover that. Well, fuck off. We're doing it for nothing. Because the channel's doing all right and we can do it for nothing. And I'll tell you why. Because of you lot. So we can do it for nothing. And this guitar, I'm going to give to that gent. Yes, there you go, Chris. It's a prezzy from me and all of the subscribers. And they're going to auction it off amongst themselves and raise some good money to support veterans. Fucking brilliant. Yes, well done you lot. I've got lots of wood here. Tons of wood. Not according to Mrs. Richards. But this is what I've come up with. I've never made a Music Man. And I want to make one. So I'm going to make a Music Man shape. Lovely. And I thought, right, what have I got round here? What have I got round here? How can we make this happen? Well, I looked at some Music Men, but that's another story. And I've got, whoa, a lovely 3-piece bit of walnut. I do love a bit of walnut. It's fucking heavy. We'll have to chamber that a bit. We don't want to drop that on anyone's toes. As we know, the neck has to match the body, yeah? So we've got a walnut neck, lovely. We've got the eucalyptus fretboard that I am fucking loving from Stu Mac. That's nice, isn't it? But that's a bit boring, isn't it? And we've got to get the Royal Tank Regiment colours in. I'll put a picture up now. So what am I going to do with that? Well, we've got a body, we've got a neck. How can we make this a sexy guitar? Well, we put a flame maple cap on. That's a prezzy from me. So I've cleverly sawn down a flamed maple top. So we're going walnut, that is going to be coloured up. It's going to have faux binding and I've got some other bits to go on. Now, the next part of the story, and this is a really cool shout out. There's a man called Dan Mincher. He is a subscriber, a member of the channel. You can all be members if you want because it makes this much more possible. I could do loads of these if I get loads of members. Brilliant. Dan is a fucking pain in the ass. Not for me, for himself. Because he can't stop buying guitar bits. He's a nightmare. He sends me countless messages. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? I've bought this. Fuck it. Do you want it? Well, he sent me some bits. He didn't just send me some bits. He sent me some gorgeous stuff. So big thanks to Dan in the comments, everyone, because I'll show you what he's donated. This is a fully loaded pickguard with boutique humbuckers, a mini bucker and a proper bad boy from Fletcher.
I'm touching myself tonight.
Now I've done my own work. It's a very nice pickup maker. Thank you very much. Everything we need for the guitar is on here. That is hundreds and hundreds of pounds worth. And Dan's just donated it. I'm not going to use the pickguard because we're not making a Gilmore Strat. Anyone who donates stuff to this channel, I'm not going to get the Kleenex out. Not for my eyes anyway. But massive thank you. It's heartwarming and I love it, love it. So we've got all that gubbins. He also, honestly, the man's insane. He also donated some amazing Goto tuners in like a black nickel. What a buy, what a buy. I have got a very nice Wilkinson 2-point trem. Woo, 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 woo. So I'm doing a trem, all right? Oh, fucking, get it out. They are sore, half marathon yesterday. No skin left on my nipples, horrific. So today we've got to do some prepping. We've got to get this ready. I'm going to get a bit more done in the first episode than I normally would because a lot of it is ready, isn't it? First thing I've got to do is sort out the join on this. Just got to give that a bit of love. get this joined, get that glued up. Then I'm gonna get this through the sander and get this body blank looking nice and flat. Then I'm gonna draw around this. I'm gonna make another template to semi-hollowify it. When it comes to the semi-hollow, I'll stay a good 25mm back from the edge. And we'll make that bit up as we go along. It's quite a sleek little body, really. So let's do a little bit of a WYSIWYG of some milling down. And then we'll come back and I'll go through some other bits and bobs. See you momentarily. Slags. I hope you enjoyed the little clippity clops. I don't want to include everything, do we? You don't want to see me sanding things while I'm melting away into myself. No, but something that you might be a little bit interested in is the fact that this is quite heavy. It's a little bit too heavy. We just want to take a bit of love out of it. And we're going to make life a bit easier for ourselves. Naturally, this is going to have a maple cap on it, which makes life very easy. I want to be able to just put some chambers in this because I want to make this a semi-hollow guitar. I might even put an F-hole in it. I think that's what we'll do. I do like an F-hole, don't we? A brown one. No, stop. So we're going to put an F-hole in, so I need a semi-hollow chamber. How do we make that? Well, we're going to make life a bit easier for ourselves because we want to do it with the router. So I'm going to bung that on there and I'm going to make a template. That's it, basically. If you've already got a template, you can make another template, can't you? So I'm going to draw around that one. Mark the centre line. Piece of piss. Cinematic centre line drawing. To get trends and everything nicely supported, if we put that on our centre finding ruler on there, you can see that you need about 100mm minimum, really, for support. So we're going to go 110. So I'll mark that on there. And that is our no-go area. 55, 55. Now, if you've got a telly or that sort of stuff, that can be even smaller. But that is my no-go area. I'm going to use a pencil for that bit. You might not be able to see it as well. So that is my no-go area. That's got to stay solid. That's where all the support, that's where the strength of the guitar is going to be. Fucking hell, that was a serious bit of the video, wasn't it? So now, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to use this template and I'm just going to keep manipulating it. There you go, got a workable shape there. That's easy, isn't it? Simple, you can do that. For my control cavity on this one, I'm going to use a Crimson Guitars template. That's going to fit on the back there. It's going to go within me marks. I'm going to drill that bit out. I'm going to drill that bit out. It's going to be round, in it, because things are round that you drill holes with. That's going to weight relieve the body a fair bit. So I'm going to whip through. People ask me, why do you use a fucking jigsaw upside down? I'll tell you why I use jigsaw upside down. Jigsaw blades, most of them, cut upwards. When you're a kitchen fitter or a finished carpenter, if I'm cutting something to a line, if I cut with a jigsaw upside down, if I cut with him upside down, like that, then I can see the line perfectly, and because of the direction of the blade, it's going to leave me my crispy, nice cut on the top with any chip outs on the bottom. Loads of people do it in finished carpentry, loads of people. So don't ask me in the comments, because I've replied to that probably about 100 times. A lot of replies. So let's whiz through. I'll drill some holes out. We'll whiz through this, cut it out, tidy it up with a file. We'll speed that little bit up. And then we're ready to transfer that onto the body. And then we're going to have a weight-relieved body. Oh, that we can use this as a router template. Fucking technical. Technical. Make life as easy as you can. Do all the hard work on this, and if you fuck it up, you can throw that away, can't you? And then once you've got that perfect, we can put it on the body. Up there, thinking. Down there, all sorts of other things that we won't go into today. Right, I'm back on the bench with all the energy in the world because I've just been tidying up for about 4 days. Anyone want to know what I'm watching today? I've got 34 guitars on the telly because that geezer knows how to make a fucking lovely guitar. Get over and watch 34 guitars. That's my tip of the day. So you can see what I've done here, look. Oh, I've got my semi-hollow bit, needs a bit of a sand in there. I've got my cavity. Simple stuff, innit? Simple stuff. Tomorrow, when my flamed metal is all glued up, I'll cut it roughly to shape and then we'll get that glued on the top. And away we whirl, we're ready to do a bit of love making. I have had an epiphany. Something's going to be different in this build because I'm staring at a neck that I built for the Christmas caster and it's walnut and it's got stainless steel frets and it's rather scrumptious. So let me go and get that and I'll explain why I'm using that. It's been hanging up on the wall. It's got my Richards custom guitarist headstock, which I like. It's in between Strat and Telly. You might not like it. You know very well now, I don't really give a fuck about that. Yep. But also, Dan's tuners are 6 in line. And the Music Man headstock, which I'm not a massive fan of, if I'm honest, is 4 in 2. So I wouldn't have been able to use Dan's tuners. That's no good, is it? So we're gonna go traditionales. We're gonna use mine. The walnut's all going to tie in rather pleasantly. It all works as I want it. The headstock looks pretty nice. The headstock looks fine with a Music Man body. It's actually going to be rather splendid. And then I get to also make an unusual video because when I carve this on the neck jig that everyone asks me about, I've just ordered router bits from Australia that cut the profile of your neck. Oh, no neck jig required. Just a router table. If they work, you boys are in luck because that changes the game. And they come in all different profiles, Wizard, Fender, Gibson. So I bought a couple and I'll put some links in that video. But for this one, I'm gonna re-profile this neck because I made it a fucking baseball bat. I'm gonna re-profile it. I'm gonna thin it down, skinify it and re-carve it beyond. Do it beyond. Right, it's the next day. Yes! Can't remember where I was yesterday. It's all a bit of a fucking rush, wasn't it? It's all a bit of a rush. I've been for a lovely walk on the moors this morning with Mrs. Richards and I made the mistake, between you and me, of putting a picture of my breakfast on the community tab. Well, they were chicken sausages, which do look very pale. And Mrs. Richards' breakfast, which she kindly made me in bed, got slated to fuck. Now, I found that personally hilarious. Mrs. Richards, not so much. But never mind, it turned into an episode of Rate My Plate. If you've never seen that, look it up on Facebook. Rather brutal. So I've got this out the clamps. Here we go, look. Oh yeah. We're not going to test for tone because that's largely bollocks. I've just got to scrape off some glue. It's going to go through the drum sander now. And we'll get this probably about up to a mil less. I like to leave the cap as thick as I can, not as thick as my kids. That would be fucking thick, wouldn't it? And I also need to reduce this bad boy down, which I'm going to do. I would normally put it through the thickness planer, but I can't be bothered. So I'm just going to do half at a time on the jointer, which is wrong. And then I'll just finish that off with a sander as well. I'll show you what I'm doing because it's, well, it fills the video up, doesn't it? And everyone wants longer videos. Oh, I need 4-hour videos. I'd love to do all the builds in one video, but that would take a month to curate and I haven't got time. And I like to release videos all the time because then I get to look at all your fucking comments, which some of them are very amusing. Anyway, on to the thickness bit. Naturally, I don't want to be thicknessing this whole thing. It'll take forever. So I am going to cut this roughly to shape. Very roughly, because if you try and get too cute and when you come to glue it all on, it's a bit of a bastard. So I'm going to leave it a good few mil oversize. There you blow. Quick whip through on the jiggy, leave loads of room. Shall we? Shall we go over there? Back on the bench, we're all smoothed out. Testing, testing, make sure I'm working. We're all smooth. It's all looking nice. Look at that, hanging. So, we've got to glue them on, haven't we? Now, I've made this error before. Good saying, someone said to me, he said, before you can make a guitar, you have to make mistakes, which is really, really disheartening, but very, very true. So prepare yourself for that shitstorm, it will happen. One of the mistakes I made in the past, and this is an absolute fucking whopper, is I glued the cap on the back. Woohoo! There you go. That's what comes from rushing and being a bit of a dick. I'm gonna give it a sand, and I'm just gonna put a smidgen of oil in there, just so it looks a bit nice. So we've sanded out in there. I'm just going to give that a bit of love, so when you look through, it looks a bit finished. My true oil is pretty dead. Ugh. Cracking. Just a bit of oil in there, just to make it look a bit sweeter. You can go to town and make that very beautiful in there if you want. I have got a cool idea coming up for a fabric top that I might do on the inside. So, that is the top of the cap. Keep things simple in your brain. That's the top. So, she's got to go that way. Let's get a bit of glue on her, shall we? I'm looking for my Type Bond. It's on the bench. No one said, did you? Type Bond, if you want to sponsor anyone, give us a sponsor. Hello, everyone. There you go, that's as even as that's going to get. Plonk her on. Give her a squish. I just want to be able to see everything's overhanging nicely when I clamp it up. You can be crafty and figure out where your bridge is going to go and screw through to locate your cap if you really want. I've got overhang all the way around. Everything is pucker. Lovely, right, that's the speedy uppy done. People use vacuum bags, very nice little toys. I do find clamping quite therapeutic. The whole clamping, unclamping, hanging them back up. That's me being a sad old perv. Right, put him aside. Now we get to cut cameras. Do a SpongeBob 3 days later. And I'll come back tomorrow and trim all that up and we'll see what we're dealing with. Sound like a plan? See you shortly.
A lot of boring math later.
Right, that's it. I'm wrapping it up. It's time for everyone to go about their business. Make sure you like and subscribe. Or if you really want to, you can watch one of these videos.